forces. We are all Barbadian citizens, and this loyal opposition is committed to the well-being of this nation and the future of this country for the benefit of our children. The national anthem says it so well. Strict guardians of our heritage, firm craftsmen of our faith. And tonight we are honored to have, let me put it that way. We're honored to have a couple of speakers that will bring the curtain down on our evening together here, two powerful men. And we are deeply appreciative of their presence here with us this evening. I want you at this time to put your hands together and welcome one of our senators of the loyal official opposition of Barbados in Parliament and the Senate. Will you put your hands together and welcome Mr. Ryan? Mr. Ryan, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Ryan, I can't hear you. Thank you, Mr. Ryan Walters. Music, music, music.
Good evening. Good evening. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. This is my first time as my leader of the opposition saying the safe confines of good people. Before I get into my conversation with you, I want to recognize the hard work and dedication of the team that is able to pull this off. Please give them a round of applause. Marseille Week Show, Unity Workers Union, Barbados Concerned Citizens, the Rastafari Progressive Movement, the Steering Committee, Watch Out My Children. This is powerful because this meeting here tonight shows you what cooperation can do, what unity and bringing the people from all spheres of life or society can achieve. This is the Barbadian mentality that we need going forward. And groupings like this, I've been observing over the last few months, and you have been bearing some good fruit. You have success stories. It is because of you that the Child Protection Bill did not pass in its current state. Give yourselves a round of applause. It is because of you that we do not all have to take this digital ID. Your marches, your voice on these important issues. The cybercrime bill. It is because of your strong voice. You walk in the hot sun is not in vain. Barbados is on your side. They may not come out and march. They may not all be here, but trust me when I tell you that they are on your side. Do not give up. I am proud to be part of this gathering today because it feels good to be part of a family that wants the best for Barbados, not wants the best for itself. For Barbados, here at Caswell, for our children, we want to make our children proud, not of only what we've done, but how we have developed our country. We need young men and women, brave men and women who have the interests of Barbados first and foremost. Egos, friendships last. And as a candidate in the election, the last election, it opened my eyes to the state of affairs in our country as in politics and governance. People are not happy. They're not happy. And they have been disappointed with promises, disappointed with false hope, disappointed with people saying one thing, doing the other, being used just to get power. And then they change on you, they flip the script, and they focus on themselves and their family and their friends. The reality is that this BLP government has done the same thing. They have deceived the people of Barbados. They have deceived you because they have told you that they will rescue the nation. They have told you they are going to set you free. They have told you that you are overtaxed. The burden is too much. They told you, them, will come to the rescue and free Barbados. But what have they done? What have they done? As soon as they came to office, you can see the policy position of this government. And it is not people-oriented. It is not people-oriented because this government, within months, shift the burden, the financial burden of this country to the poor people and let corporate Barbados free. And we have proof to that. This is not idle talk. This is facts. It was said that we were overtaxed, we were overburdened, and that the previous administration had us in a chokehold as related to prices. The government won the majority, a significant majority, all because you got up and supported them on that day in 2018. But they turned their backs on you in a few months. And tax swap, I call it a tax swap. The government takes in revenue by taxes. You pay taxes, businesses pay taxes, businesses collect taxes on the government behalf that you paid in. But what did the government do? And this is important for you to understand where the mindset of this current administration is, because a time will come when you again will face the polls, and it will not be because you like somebody, or as Lynette said, because they can talk fancy, or as the Reverend said, because they got money from the States, or to give you $100 bill. We will not accept that anymore. But watch the tax swap. In the 2018 budgetary statement, this is what the Prime Minister said. As promised, we will repeal the National Social Responsibility Levy from July 1st. This will cost the government approximately $145 million. When the NSR was put on, many prices rose by double digits, depressing retail sales and economic activity. Mr. Speaker, sir, she said, we are conscious that the Central Bank of Barbados reflected that there was a doubling of inflation in 2017, caused predominantly by the rate of the NSRL. My government expects that the removal of this distortionary levy will lead within 2 months to a reduction in prices for average Barbadians. This is 72 months. Have you felt a reduction in prices? But this is what you lost. You have lost close to $800 million your tax revenue. They lost it, but the government just can't lose revenue. They have to get it from somewhere else. So what did the government do? Sewage tax, garbage tax, health tax, fuel tax. Do you understand what I am saying? Do you understand that they relieve the corporate Barbados of taxes? The taxes, the tax burden was not lifted. It was not passed through to you. And then, knowing this, they put on another slew of taxes to recoup the money. So that I have explained to you that over the last 6 years, the government has raised, in excess of $800 million from the pockets of hard working citizens in this country. Give away $800 million in 2 months, and then seek to collect the money from you. Where does their interest lie? Tell me, does it lie in your household?
The first one.
It doesn't. They have deceived you, and this is what Barbadians are concerned with. That here we have campaigning time, election time, and you have these promises, but yet you turn your back against the people that support you based on what you say you are going to do. It must come to an end, and we need you, the loyal opposition, to stand up for this. We need you, and when the time comes again, you are able to express a view that you will no longer be taking this nonsense, this deceit, the lies, the betrayal. Do you agree?
Yes.
Listen, I do not take this job of being an opposition senator lightly. It is important for us to have a voice in Parliament. It is important for us to have voices outside of Parliament. And I will tell you here tonight with all sincerity that regardless of who government is in place, this shall not end, because we have to keep the government on the watch, keep their feet on the fire, so that they operate in the best interest of not themselves, but your children, your grandchildren, your parents, your grandparents, the society as a whole. Because if not for us, there is no society. And I always say, my mantra is take care of the people, and the people will take care of the economy. How hard is that? If you do not get up tomorrow and go to work, or Tuesday and go to work, no one will earn a cent in this country. The businesses will close, government will shut down. It is because of you. So do not take this meeting tonight, do not take your 4 meetings weekly for granted. They mean something to people of Barbados. And the shameful thing is that you have a situation where everyone is singing for the same hymn sheet, although they know that they're wrong. Young ministers going to supermarkets and telling you, we have better prices and we have a very COVID. You have senior ministers know whose job it is to come and tell you to expect a price increase because of some war in another place, because of some shipment arrangement. That is what they're doing. Instead of spending time with solutions to fix these problems, they are spending time advising you of the pain to come. And lo and behold, here we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, understand this, that we just passed the bill last week in Senate, where businesses will pay a higher corporation tax rate. Did you hear them cry out? Did you see the business community cry out? They will cry out. But what this means to the government is that they will have more revenue to work with. But they need to work the revenue on your behalf. Because if you're moving taxes from 40% to 9%, and in some instances 15%, you understand how much more money they will get? Do you understand that they can double their revenue intake? So we are demanding, as a loyal opposition, no more loans, fix the schools, fix the infrastructure, pay the staff, pay the nurses, pay the teachers. Stop with this temporary contract nonsense where you're working for 6 months and then have to go and look for a job, or have to be dependent on a minister or member of parliament for another 6 months. That is the position. It is a political strategy for them to hold people close to them and to be vulnerable, to keep you in a vulnerable state, to say you have to come back to me for 6 months so that I can get you another job, extend your contract. That is not the Barbados that we want. If we need nurses, give them permanent work. If we need teachers and principals, give them permanent work. We do not need this mindset that we as legislators and as politicians are having our constituents, the people that voted us, come knocking and begging every other week for a job, for assistance. And you know the first thing they do is they, when you go to the office, they put up the voters list to see if you're on the list and to see if you voted. And if they vote, the goose up. And if they're free to vote for another party, the goose boil. Big. It's not the politics that we need in Barbados today. We need a politics where people are first, where that wants you in government. There is no blue, there's no yellow, there's no red, there's no black. It's governance for all, the betterment of our society. So we are urging the government on this windfall of revenue that they will get, that they will do good on behalf of the people. And I heard another speaker allude to it earlier about this whole notion of growth. What growth? And the governor of the central bank is borderline irresponsible in his comments. And I stand by that, because you cannot come and say that we've had 12 consecutive quarters of economic growth without putting it in context. Now we came from zero. What do you expect? No growth. This is where the growth this is the growth that the Barbados Labour Party, that this government has on record. Growth in the size of cabinet. You remember that? All 30 members of parliament were either ministers or parliamentary secretaries. All unheard of. That is the growth that they have on their record. Growth in consultants. Growth in consultants, and the leader in the opposition spoke about $30,000 pound payments for consulting a whole project. $30,000 a month. And that's just one. Multiply that by 30 ministries, and multiply that by 5, you're up in hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions. And you have a situation, as Kaja already said, where now they're getting bonus payments every year. They're getting the gratuities every year. So you are in a contract as a consultant. You get a monthly salary, then you get gratuity. But a person as a normal worker, in a contract for 6 months, and gets nothing, that has to come out of there to a job. You have growth that they have on record. It's growth in wastage. Wastage. Oh, we're going to build 10,000 homes. Oh, we're going to import steel frame houses from China. And you understand the level of taxpayers' dollars are wasted or swindled away. Do you understand that this is the record of this government? The growth that they are speaking about is a growth in the wrong direction, and everything negative, everything bad for this country. Nothing good. Nothing good at all. My loyal opposition, we have to remain focused. We have to remain focused. If we are not focused, we will end up in a similar situation come next election. Do not let your vote go waste. You have to come out and express your right to vote, because this is not good for democracy. This is not good for governance. This is not good for the future of our nation. We have a situation where there is no vision for our youth. There is no vision. We are in a position where the government is fighting crime by holding cricket matches. That is it. You have a position where there are no job opportunities for all young people coming out of university. We have a problem where our school system is being broken slowly but surely. School reform will not happen, and we are not hearing from the consultants. Have the consultants been laid off? Have they been laid off? Because we do not know what is going to happen. We don't know. But if education is a right created by our founding Prime Minister Arrow, it is a right for every student, every young person in this country to get access to education. Is it not true? It is a right. So if we are spending the second highest budget of the government is with education, if we are spending so much money on educating our young minds, which should continue, shouldn't it be a right that they have access to jobs? Shouldn't they have access to jobs, hard-working, paid jobs, not jobs where you have to pay people, not jobs where you have to do unethical things, not jobs where if you don't have on a certain kind of shirt, you will not get a renewed contract. We have distinct young men and women who need to be thinking differently, who need to be told and to see that government is acting responsibly. Because if we do not prove that, we are going to get less young people interested in politics, less young people wanting to come to these forums to hear what is going on. And we cannot allow that to happen. Loyal opposition, are you ready to continue this work? I urge you, do not drop the ball. Marcia said, you are the financiers of this.
Yes.
Do not drop the ball. I give you my commitment that I will do my best to serve the interests of every single Barbadian. And I will support anything that is productive as it relates to having a strong opposing voice in this country. And I want to commend all of you coming out in your numbers here today as a show of support that we as citizens still have control of Barbados. And no one will ever take that away from us. As I close, I want to thank you for your show of support for what is happening in the Parliament of Barbados recently. Please give our Leader of Opposition a round of applause. Please give Senator Tricia Watson a round of applause. We are outnumbered, but we will fight. And you will fight. And together we will conquer. Thank you.
One of these days, I'm going to learn to sing like that. We gonna what happened? We not afraid of nobody. 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 I tell you, Lord, have mercy. Oh wow! Put your hands together for Mr. Ryan, please. Come on, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Now, I'm not going to be long, as I want to get the next speaker on very quickly, but just a little housekeeping. Next week, we will not be having a march, because there is, as you would have remembered, the diaspora put together a health fair, which we have promoted on the show, and that's going to be next week on Saturday at the King George V Memorial Park, 9 till 6. All kind of health checks, blood pressure, I don't know, all kinds of pressure. I don't know if there are certain other checks they will do, but whatever you want. I don't know if they check it on cholesterol level or whatever, but you just go to King George V next week, 9 o'clock it starts from the diaspora, and we want to make sure that we fully support them. United for a Healthier Barbados present the Health and Wellness Festival next week, Saturday, 9 to 6 at the King George V Memorial Park. But I will say that next week, we will be having another roadside parliament. Stay tuned for the venue. But there will be another roadside parliament next week on Sunday. All right, so you stay tuned and you will hear the appropriate announcements to let you know where it's going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a great evening. God has even graced us with showers of blessing. Kept the place cool, washed it down, cleaned out your liver and all the rest of it. And we are grateful for the presence that He has graced us with in this place tonight. We've had a cadre, and some young man, I think, that spoke yesterday said he was going to get that word and keep it. So you hold on to it, sir. We've had a cadre of great speakers tonight, and at the end of the session, you will hear a young man, one of the young leaders of our country, give the vote of thanks for the session tonight. But at this time, I want you to put your hands together, and I want you to welcome the leader of the opposition party of Barbados to the loyal opposition roadside parliament, the Honorable Ralph Thornton. Sorry, get your level right for this.
the picture.
No, that's the key part, because that's the camera. Yeah, you You're good? Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening. You like that? I was trying to understand the lyrics. Something. But the rhythm is good. And I want us to have a good rhythm here tonight. Good night to Barbados. St. Lucy and St. Joseph. A friend of mine from St. Andrew said today that he is coming. And his name is Andrew. Andrew, are you really here? There's several Andrews here. I told a young man a few minutes ago that Thierry, I just met Thierry 2-3 minutes ago, and I told Thierry, look, the speech that I propose to make tonight is perhaps a speech made for Thierry. And a lot of us are somewhat older than Thierry. But I think it is a message that should extend to all of us. I have not come to address economics. I've not come to address the more technical subjects. I come from a time in Barbados where there's crisis. And there's a crisis in our political system. And there's a crisis among our young people. Deep crisis. And I come tonight to address the topic, politics, morality, and faith. Please pardon my mode of dress. I just left church. I removed the tie. The Anglican Church had its annual synod open. And as all of us know, this is the beginning of Pentecost. Yes, I love Sundays. And I love people who love God. I heard that. I love people who love God. And we all know where wisdom begins with the love of the Lord. And today is the celebration of the day of Pentecost. And we as Christians are not devout. I came up in a Christian family, a Christian home, a Christian tradition. And tonight you're hearing the voice of a sinner. But I acknowledge God. And I know a few of the scriptures. And I know the power of God. And I know the power of prayer. And I want to thank all those people who call me in the morning at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning and pray for me. And pray with me. And pray for this country. And pray for the young people of this country who are in crisis. We at this age have known about Barbados. What Barbados do we aim to leave to the young people of this country? On our present course, we're not doing so well for the young people of this country. On our present course, we're not doing well by the young people of this country. This is a country in crisis. This is a country whose political system is in crisis. And what are we going to do about it? What is the People's Parliament doing about it? What are we doing about it? And so I have so much respect for the work that Marcia Weeks and Dave and Caswell and Mama and Bongo Light and Kimar and Maxine McLean. I have so much respect for the work that they have been doing. Give me another name, please.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
Rose, call in. Rose.
Kimar, call Kimar's name. Rose Corbin and Philip. Take a bow, Rose and Philip. I call it the coalition of the righteous. These are good Barbadians. These are good human beings who have gathered together in small numbers and who have agreed to fight this government. And the mantra is, we are not afraid. And we say those words tonight because we live under oppressive government. We live under repressive government. We live under a government that intends to take our freedoms away. And what is our recourse? What can we do in this country? This work that you've done is necessary work. From Saturday to Saturday, as we say in Barbados, in hot Brian Sun, and meeting at a place called Independence Square, in the shadow of the national hero of this country, the preeminent national hero of this country, in his shadow, you have reaffirmed a commitment to ensuring that Barbados will once again be a better place. Ensuring that is noble. That Barbados will once again. That is why I call this the coalition of the righteous. Politics, morality, and faith. That is my topic tonight. That is my theme today. And politics. Political scientists will tell you all kinds of things. They will give you all kinds of things. And I say to you that politics is the way in which we organize our society. That is it. That is it. Politics is not about the structure of a government. Politics is the way that a government proposes to organize a society. How do you distribute resources? How do you plan for housing? How do you plan for education? How do you plan for health? How do you organize your society? And we live in a country in which the government is dismantling all of the freedoms, all of the policies that we have known, and the policies that have been sacred, the policies that have ensured that every woman, every man, and every child in this country should have fair access to housing, to education, to health, and every week in that parliament. You are meeting a government that is bringing policies through legislation to that parliament. And we're not from Marcia Weeks and Dave Weeks and Maxine McLean and Kimar Stewart and Caswell Franklin. You would have had laws passed in that parliament, your parliament, which would have abridged and infringed your freedoms. Thank God for this. Thank God for your numbers. Thank God for your participation in the political life of this country. Because if it were not for this group, this government would have trampled the rights of the citizens of this country. Tonight I say thank God for the People's Parliament. We have reached a stage in this country where the People's Parliament now has greater legitimacy than the official parliament of this country. Because if they knew what they were doing,
they would pass just laws, and they would pass just laws without protest. And I want you to remain vigilant. I want you to keep your ears to the ground. I want you to keep your eyes open, because this government is not serving your interest. And as you've done with the cybercrime bill, and as you've done with the child protection bill, there are the bills coming. And I want you, People's Parliament, the real Parliament, the Parliament where truth is told, I want you to remain vigilant. There's a moral crisis in this country. And that's why tonight I've come not only to speak to you on politics, but I've come to speak to you on morality. Because there has been a view in this country that there's no relationship between politics and morality. We have come now in Barbados to expect that a politician is necessarily a gangster, a ruthless person, a person of no values, no morals, no principles. That is what they have got the people in this country used to. That a politician is a gangster. And that you destroy people's lives. And that you engage in trickery. And that you abuse power. And that it is about the survival of the fittest. And that there ought to be no compassion. There ought to be no empathy. There ought to be no sympathy for the vulnerable in this country. And that is what they have got Barbadians used to. That a politician is essentially a gangster. And that is why I come to the young people of morality. And if you have a government that cannot and does not and will not embrace morality, you have illegitimate government. And will you keep illegitimate government? Will you keep illegitimate government? Will you keep this government? Will your voices of protest sound louder against this government? And will you continue your marches from Saturday to Saturday? And will you continue your meetings from Saturday to Saturday? And do you recognize that this government is an immoral government? Do you think you have immoral government? I'm going to ask the question in a different way. Do you have a moral government? A good government? You do not have a moral government. And there's a time coming. There's a time coming. Barbados, there's a time coming. And when the time comes, I want you to reflect on gatherings like this. We may not have 10,000. We may not have 10,000 gathered here, but we have the strength of 100,000. There's a time coming. And when that time comes, I want you to go back to your villages and your neighborhoods and to speak to your neighbors and to speak to your relatives and to speak to your friends. Commune with them and remind them of the experience that they have had under this government. And when that time comes and you exercise your right to remove this government, what will you do tonight, People's Parliament? You will get rid of them. There's a time coming. This is not a moral government. And my theme tonight is politics, morality. They need to go. They need to go. And you have told me that you have the strength and the power, the spiritual power of 100,000. And as many of us are gathered here tonight, we're going to move this government. We're going to move this government. We are going to move this government because we are not afraid. We are not afraid. And when we pause and ask the question, removing this government, but is it the right thing to do? People of Barbados People's Parliament, when we plan to move this government, will it be the right thing to do? Now please do it. I come to faith. I come to faith. I said I would speak to you tonight on politics, morality, and faith. I am about to open my phone because a neighbor wrote me a message this morning. And when I read his message, I thought that I should come here tonight and share it with you. Please permit me to read it. Ferdy, I know I don't have a lot more time left. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say. People are coming to my office and holding my hands in my office and praying with me. People are calling me at 4 in the morning and praying with me. Because they have seen the battle. They have seen the difficulty of my endurance. But People's Parliament, this is not about me. This is about you. And this is about the suffering people of Barbados. So my tribulations are not tribulations of national concern. My tribulations are private. But my tribulations are taking place because I've dared to take a stand. And I've dared to sit alone in a parliament against 29. And I am not alone. I am not alone. And I know the tribulations that visit my life from day to day. And I see the arrows coming from all directions. And I repeat my favorite hymn. When peace like a river attendeth my way. When sorrows like sea billows roll. Whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say. It is well. It is well with my soul. So don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. There are little children in this country tonight who went to bed without dinner. There are little children who will wake in this country tomorrow morning and they won't have breakfast. And they'll be exposed. They and their mothers will be exposed to predators. Who will offer them dinner? And who will offer them breakfast? So my tribulations are not great. It is the tribulation of the suffering in this country which must bring us to an understanding of the country in which we live. And when I spoke about the government, and I will repeat it, when I spoke about a government that is spending $188 million in this financial year, are we standing up here and believing that we live in a free country? A government that will spend $188 million in travel, overseas travel, first class hotels, sipping champagne, getting $1,000 a day US as a per diem. So my tribulations are not great. The tribulations of the people of this country are the tribulations about which we must be concerned. Our young and vulnerable children, or old people who are in abject loneliness, because this government is an indifferent government. This government does not care. Does not care. So I want to read what my neighbor sent to me this morning. Good morning, Ralph. Just a small word for you. With God, all things are possible. Having done all, stand. And he said to me, God brought me through my illness and hospitalization with one health crisis after another. Then, when I was better and knew that my discharge was delayed a further 6 frustrating weeks. But in that period, I learned to trust God even more. The doctors did their best, but as my friend says, it was God who performed the miracle to bring me through. You are going through very tough challenges now, and there will likely be more and bigger challenges. But having done all, stand, and God will fulfill his promises. The situation may seem impossible to solve because he must have the glory when your deliverance comes. And he ended by saying, be blessed. And it occurred to me, when I read that I should read it to you. He wrote that to me. But that applies to many of us in this country. Many of us of tribulation. This week, a few weeks ago, called me and asked me what to do with a certain letter. This is serious and this is dangerous. You are occupying a dangerous country. When a husband and wife starts a television program and they are to be punished with threats of physical violence against them. We are living in a dangerous country. And a few weeks ago, I was at Senator Walters' picnic, and VOB called me and asked me to verify a news report. That a news report was sent into VOB saying that it came from me. Saying that it came from me. And it was a false report. And it was sent from a New York number. And it was saying that Kimar's store, they had a picture of Kimar's face that they sent to Starcom VOB, instructing them to issue this news report. And this news report was intended to embarrass us. And when I spoke to the nation and to VOB, I told them that that is akin to political terrorism. We are living in an environment in which the enemy is going to all kinds of lengths to destroy this movement, to destroy people who stand against the government. But you have said to them, and I want you to say again tonight, in the face of political terrorism, in the face of the threatening letters, in the face of their refusal to put this meeting where Marcia first wanted it. We are not afraid, but let us have faith, because we all come to a point where we lose our faith. I've addressed you on politics and the virtue of politics. I've addressed you on morality and the need to be moral in whatever we do, whether it is politics, whether we are policemen or priests. Let us import moral values into what we do and how we do it. Let us always pause and ask the question before we make every decision. But is it the right thing to do? You live under a government that doesn't ask itself that question. Government asks itself, but is it the expedient thing to do? Will it make us popular? It doesn't matter how the public feels. Will our policies make us popular? And government must have the courage of conviction to ask itself when it is on the point of passing law. But is it the right thing to do? And we thank you so much. We thank you so much for taking the stand that you have taken against this government. And I don't want you to lose your faith. I want you to remember Hebrews. I want you to keep that faith. The substance. You forgot Hebrews? Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Evidence of things not seen. And that is such a beautiful piece of scripture. The substance of things hoped for. Hope. So that faith involves hope. And it involves evidence that we cannot prove because we don't see it. But People's Parliament tonight has come to tell you, keep your politics virtuous. Keep your politics clean. Continue to embrace morality and have faith. I confess to you, being mortal, being of frail humanity, that several times I lose my faith. I lose my faith. Often I lose my faith. And when those good and honorable people call me on mornings and say, well, press on. And press on without fear. And come here tonight and speak about my convictions and my commitments to the young and the middle-aged and the aged in this country. Why should I be afraid? Knowing that this group exists. Knowing that there are good, God-fearing people in this country who exist. And that they will join their hands together and continue to pray for this country. And that they will continue to have faith. And that they will acknowledge that faith without work is dead. And so we will continue to work in the interest of the people of this country. And so we will continue to work in the interest of the children of this country, who are being dragged into a setback of moral decay. That is going into their mind is filth from some people who call themselves entertainers. And I say to you tonight that the government has been sponsoring a lot of those entertainers who are corrupting the minds of your children. But I will come back. And I will come back and give you details. Sorry, has my time run out? If you are staying here much longer, the police will come and move you. So let us say goodbye. And let us say goodbye with those words that will come to define this movement. We are not afraid. Now they're telling me to go on to 9:30.
We have a fun till 9:30. 10 minutes.
Well, if they're giving you a little more time, do you want a little more time? Is it not past your bedtime?
What about Olive? What about
Why
Olive?
are you here?
What about Olive?
Are you standing here because you care for your country? Are you standing here because you care for the children of this country? Are you standing here because you love this country? And will you continue to love this country? And let us continue to labor. Let us continue our labor. Because the sister there said just now, faith without work is dead. And we continue to do this. Because what we do is not hard work compared to those who went before us. Thank you, Kenneth. I can see you, know. Faith without work is dead. And by that they mean that we must go into the highways and byways. And we must continue to labor for the freedom of this country. And I say to you that when we feel that we are losing our faith, when we feel that we are about to give up, let us cast our minds back to those beautiful people called parents and grandparents and great-grandparents whom we probably never met, but were it not for them, we would not be standing here tonight. They never gave up. And if they had given up, we would not be here tonight. Could we consider that? And should we not consider that our neighbors are not difficult? And should we not plan that if we continue to do this together, our labors will not be in vain? Let us remember our parents, those of us who have. Let us remember our grandparents, those of us who are lucky enough to have. Let us remember our great-grandparents and our great-great-grandparents who never gave up, who lived in a more difficult Barbados, who lived in a Barbados when labor was not rewarded with salaries. And tonight we have salaries. Maybe we don't have the freedoms that we want. But let us continue to work hard because others before us worked harder. Let us not lose our faith. Let us never give up. Let us continue to work in the interest of the people of this country. Let us acknowledge that we have a government which is dishonoring the people of this country. I say to you tonight that politics is a process. It begins with a thought. You have to think about the policies if you're a politician. What policies will you employ in relation to education, to health, to housing, to the things in the roads? That's another issue. And your thoughts must be based on truth. Your thoughts must be based on truth. A politician must say truth. Because thought leads to speech. And you hear politicians speak in that parliament. And I say to you that from week to week, I sit in there and I don't hear a lot of truth. I don't hear a lot of truth. And if thought must lead to truth, or if thought must be comprising truth, if thought must be based on truth, speech also must be based on truth. But if their thoughts are dishonest, their speech will be dishonest. And if their speech is dishonest, the actions they take will be dishonest. And at the last meeting that I addressed this people's parliament, I told you that there was a politician in this country who stood up in that parliament and told you that he had given 1,200 jobs to those poor people in the city. And I met with the people in the city, and they told me it was not true. And I want you to go and ask the people in the city if he has delivered on the 1,200 jobs that he promised. But it began with a thought that was dishonest. And it led to a speech that was dishonest. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the action is dishonest. And you read in your papers today of a project that is bringing this country to the precipice of danger. When this government should occupy itself with the rehabilitation of criminal wrongdoers. This government has entered into a dangerous negotiation with the criminal element in this country. A dangerous negotiation. And the prison officer has told me speak about this tonight. Counsel, why did you not tell the people about this tonight? That you were given a prison officer. Thanks to Maria Blanchard investigative journalism. Thanks for the existence of Maria Bradshaw. This is dangerous. When the government is spending out money to Maine, to deter them. My God, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. It is the night, and dangerous things happen at night. But this thing has become so dangerous that those men now shoot each other in broad daylight. And rather than enlist your police service to do its job, your government is in negotiation with a criminal element in your country with money. With money. And I'm getting calls from people every day that the welfare check is not enough. Women in the apartment with two children, and a delinquent father, an absent father. And we are handing large amounts of money. And I am not embarrassed to say that I met with a certain man from the city. And as he was walking through my group, he was so afraid to say this. Do you want to hear it? Will it not make you afraid? God is on our side. What Adrian said, God is on our side. And he whispered into my ear that there are men in this country who have committed free murder. And they're not in St. Philip. And your government is paying the money, not the computer forward. Which of us will be that forward? Which of us will take the stray bullet? And perhaps we won't take the stray bullet if the government gives it enough of your tax. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. Let us leave that alone. But when Maria Bradshaw asked the minister to give explanation for these payments, he referred Maria Bradshaw to the Attorney General of this country. And when she went to all this in today's paper, y'all didn't read it. You raised and listened. And did you not tremble with fear? Were you not afraid for the future of your country? Were you not afraid that you were bringing up your children in a country which is unstable? Were you not afraid that you were bringing up your children in a country in which they could lose their lives if a criminal wrongdoer with a gun is not paying enough of your taxes? It is as serious as that. And the Attorney General of this country who believes that he is beyond criticism, and when I criticize him in the parliament of this country, his response is to insult me and to say that I have committed 5 of the 7 cardinal and deadly sin. But I will continue. I will continue to ask the Attorney General of this country the questions. The questions to which the people of this country are demanding answers. And the journalists are here reminded that one minister was asked to give a comment. And he referred the journalist to the Attorney General. What did your Attorney General say? What did you read in your newspaper today that the Attorney General said? No comment. No comment. Well, when we come to these meetings, we have a comment to make. And our comment is that this government is an incompetent government. Our comment is that this government has lost the right and the legitimacy to rule this country for much longer. And what will you do when the time comes? The time is coming. The time is coming. The time is coming. This is a dangerous land. And this land is being made more dangerous by a dangerous government. And this government is making our lives more dangerous because this government has a program. It is a fact. They are in association. This government is transactional. You don't worry me like that. That if the government wants somebody to support it, the government doesn't appeal to the person's sense of morality and decency and honesty and integrity. The government appeals to the pocket. The government is taking your taxes and it is distributing it to all types of people in this country, merely for the support and the experience of support and popularity and love. Gold money, gold money, gold money. Time is coming. We are not afraid now. Let us not lose our faith in the interim. Let us not give up. Let us never relent. Let us continue to fight for the freedoms and the interests and the entitlements of our children. We brought them into this world. They did not ask us to come here, we brought them here. And we have a responsibility to our children. And the government has a responsibility to protect the children of this country. And how can you protect the children of this country? When you are making transactions with men who endanger the lives of the children of this country every day. That children cannot leave their houses. Children cannot run across the street. And every time there's a murder, you hear the children, you hear the adults. They lament that the child could have been in that spot where the bullets flew. That is the lament of this country. That it has become a dangerous place. And this government has found itself unfit and inadequate to solve the problem of violence and crime in this country. And when a government starts to pay people, when a government takes taxpayers' money and starts to give people a reward for peace, and that's what they're calling the program, a peace program. And simmering just below that surface of apparent peace is a bomb waiting to explode. And how many of us will be there? How many of us will be unlucky enough to drive past that street? This is serious business. This is a dangerous place. This is a dangerous land. This is a dangerous government. Our time is coming. And we are not afraid. We are not afraid. I want you to leave here tonight remembering that we will never be afraid of this government. I want you to remember, and I'm going to deal with this when I come on the next occasion. As well, did you speak about the cybercrime bill tonight? And did you tell these good people that the minister admitted at the select committee last week? She admitted when I asked her if as a result of this type of crime law, they will be able to charge people in Canada, the United States, and England. And Mr. Franklin, do you remember what she said? She said no. And I asked the question because I know the law. And I read the bill. And that bill does not give this government, this police service, the power to charge anybody overseas. And if it does not give the government or the police to charge anybody overseas who isn't intended to charge. Who is it intended to charge? They can't charge a felon in Toronto. They can't charge a felon in the United States. They can't charge a felon in Britain. It is designed for you. They come in for you. It isn't only the letters that Marcia Weeks got. It isn't only the letter that Kimar Stewart got. It isn't only the false reports that they're sending to VOB to embarrass us. They're coming for you. And the young man in the VIP reminded you when he said that the law is there to stop y'all from cursing ministers. It is a law intended to protect a small class of persons in this country, and that is why all the protests against that bill now become legitimate protests. They can't extradite a man from New York. They can't extradite a woman from England. That was done for you. But then on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and say something that they don't like. This place is getting dangerous. Please go home. Please go home and pray. And lock your homes. And hope to see a better day. Hope to see a better day. But a better day is not coming tomorrow. But let us hope for a better tomorrow at some point in time. I want to thank you so much for coming here tonight. I want to thank you for the solidarity that you've shown with each other. I want to thank you for the interest that you've shown in your country. I want to thank you for the interest that you've shown in your fellow citizens. I want to thank you for the expression of love, because it is love, ultimately, it must be love that brings you here. It must be love that takes you down to Fountain every Saturday. It must be love that takes you outside and Broad Street and takes you into a square called Independence Square. It must be love. Continue to love. Continue to love People Parliament. Good night and God bless
Let's hear it for the leader of the opposition tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you can do better than that. Let me hear it. Thank you. Well, just a couple of housekeeping things. Don't move, don't move. That's my evangelical voice. Don't move. Just a couple of things I wanted to inform you of. As you know, this show is capable of existing because of the donations of persons. There'll be a lady here at the front if any of you all wish to donate to assist with the expenses that we have incurred in terms of having even this roadside parliament and the one to come. Please just see this young lady at the front that's waving her hand in the white hat with the bag right here at the front, and you can feel free to assist. We want to remind you that there's some juices, some drinks over on my right, your left, that you can refresh yourself before you leave. And also we remind you this coming Saturday, King George V Memorial Park for the Health Festival, 9 to 6 o'clock, all right? It's been my joy to be sharing with you tonight. In my closing, I want to invite a young man. I want you to put your hands together and welcome Theory Jennings to the microphone this evening to close our session.
Good night, Lord Opposition. That was all. We want them to hear we. Good night, Lord Opposition. Now this stage we were very hot. We had real top speakers tonight. I know some persons wanted me to speak, but the level of speakers we had here was tremendous. Give them a clap, please. I want to thank God for bringing us here today together as a family. And I want to thank him for giving us these amazing individuals to educate and inspire us. I want to thank Caswell Franklin. And as I call him in, please give him a cheer. I want to thank Caswell Franklin. Lynette Eastman. Lynette Eastman. Kate Sight. Mongolites. John Knox. Ryan Waters. And the Honorable Opposition Leader, Ralph Thorne. This would not be possible without the technical team. So let us give a little applause for them as well. And let us give an applause for our police service for doing right by the people and who are the democracy in this country. But most importantly, I want to thank you, the loyal opposition, for coming here and showing that we are not afraid and we will not stand down any day in this country. We will stand together as a family. And in standing, I want you to stand for the national anthem as craftsmen of our faith. Thank you.
When this land was young, our brave forefathers sown the seed from which our pride is sprung.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Pretending to get up miles north and news. I just pretending to care with people. Pretending to get up miles north and news. I just pretending to care with people. Miles north and news.
Good everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone. Hello. If there's anyone with a truck or vehicle that can help us take chairs and equipment back to Calamara, let us know. Hello everyone. If there's anyone with a truck or vehicle that can take the chairs and the equipment back to Calamara, we appreciate it. The podium, the chairs, the speakers, anyone that can help us take things back so that we can all get home and enjoy the Bank of tomorrow. Anybody who has a truck or a vehicle that can help us pack chairs, tables, and equipment to take back to Calamara, not very far, we appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Push it, push it, push it. Hello, Dave. Hello. Anybody left their seat? If you don't, oh, okay, good. Put your hand. Huh? I know. It's right there. Parking over there. The Suzuki. A Toyota van. RAV4.